What's up, YouTube? This is Bison XFA9, guys. Today I come to you with my latest deck profile for November 2019. And today, guys, we're going to be looking at my updated Infinitrack deck. Alright, now the Infinitrack R-Type was originally released in the Infinity Chaser set earlier this year. That was the same set that gave us the Witchcrafter and the Evil Eye R-Types. Alright, Infinitrack just recently got new support in the Chaos Impact Core Booster set, and after incorporating those cards into this deck, I can tell you this right now, the deck does what it does really well. Alright, it can set up boards that can actually control your opponent, or even go in and kill them with an OTK. So this deck does have a lot of different potential abilities to help you get and steal wins. And that's especially important since this deck isn't that relatively well known. Your opponent's not going to really know how to counter it. Alright, so without further ado, we're going to get right into this. And we're going to talk about the low-level Infinitrack monsters first. There's two of them, and the first one we're talking about is the 3 copies of Infinitrack Anchor Drill. Alright, now Anchor Drill is very important. It's one of the cards you want to be seeing in your opening hand, primarily because whenever it's normal or special summon, you get to special summon another Infinitrack monster right to the field. Alright, from your hand to the field, which is just awesome. Alright, it helps facilitate plays, especially with his secondary effect, which we'll get into right after we take a look at the 3 copies of Infinitrack Harvester. Alright, whenever Harvester is normal special summoned, it's going to search out a Infinitrack monster from your deck to your hand. Alright, so it's the Stratos of the R-Type, and like I said, it helps facilitate plays, basically because if you have another machine type monster on the field, you can actually have either Anchor Drill or Harvester target that monster, and then that monster's level and this monster's level will combine, and this will allow you to either get into your rank 7s or rank 9 Xyz plays a whole lot faster. Alright, since the other Infinitrack monsters are all level 5. Okay? Moving forward, we have Infinitrack Brutaldozer. Now, one of the key things with the Harvester, starting off with him, is you're going to be searching Brutaldozer out with Harvester's effect, and then all the level 5 Infinitrack monsters have the same effect where you have a tribute off another machine type monster that's on the field to special summon this guy out in defense position, and then when you special summon Brutaldozer off, you get to special summon another Infinitrack monster from your deck to the field with his in defense position with his effects negated, and the monster you're going to be bringing out with Brutaldozer's effect is going to be one of the 3 copies of Infinitrack Trencher. Since they're both level 5, you can easily access your rank 5 plays and begin to go into different options for either control or basically winning the duel. Alright, now Infinitrack Trencher, it isn't just a body. While it's in the graveyard, you can banish it, target another Infinitrack monster that's in the graveyard, and special summon it to the field. So it is a monster reborn and an extender, which just makes it an amazing card. Alright. The other 2 Infinitrack monsters is going to be Infinitrack Crabcrawler and Infinitrack Tunneler. Crabcrawler, while it's on the field, you can banish an Earth Machine monster from the graveyard to search and set a Outrigger extension spell card to your field. That Outrigger extension is the rank up magic card for the Infinitrack R-Type, so it is kind of important to get the card on the field. Tunneler is more of a late game effect. Basically, it's the Pot of Argus for the deck. You banish it from the graveyard and target up to 5 other Infinitrack monsters, or excuse me, Earth Attribute Machine monsters to add back into your deck, and then you draw 2 cards. Alright? Like I said, the effect doesn't really go off until late game, so that's why you only see 1 copy of them. Alright? Now, I am running a bit of a train variant of this deck, and the first card I'm running is 2 copies of Flying Pegasus Railroad Stampede. Railroad Stampede is an awesome card for this deck. Whenever it's normal special summon, you're targeting a Earth Machine type monster in your graveyard to special summon back to your field in defense position with its effects negated. Alright, and then what you can do is you can actually then activate its other effect, which allows you to basically manipulate the monster's level, either turning the target into a level 4 or turning Pegasus into whatever the level of the monster you're brought back with. So it's actually pretty damn awesome. It allows you to access into other plays for Xyz. Alright? And the big train that I'm running in this deck is one of 3 copies of Heavy Freight Train Deca Crane. Alright, Deca Crane is actually the easiest of the train monsters to special summon, primarily because whenever you normal or special summon another Earth Machine Monster, you can special summon this guy from your hand. Alright? He also has a pretty awesome effect that if he's ever detached from an Xyz monster, in the activation of that Xyz monster's effect, he can target a card on your opponent's field and destroy it. So he does offer that extra bit of spot removal that can help this deck really overcome a lot of problematic cards. Alright? Last card is going to be good old Ash Blossom. I mean, hand trap that stops searching or dumping cards into the graveyard. Just so useful in this meta. So, awesome. Going into the spells, I run 3 copies of Called by the Grave. I mean, Called by the Grave is such an offensive and defensive card. It needs to be in this deck. This card hurts pretty much every meta deck that's out there. I mean, Orcus, by banishing an Orcus monster out of the graveyard before they can activate their effects, you're pretty much shutting them out of their plays, and you can kill their turn by activating this card at the right point. Against Sky Strikers, get rid of Ray, their whole recycling thing crumbles. And against Salamangreats, Spinny, Gazelle, Jack Jaguar, Falco, I mean, any of those cards are pretty much awesome targets to get rid of and basically break up the plays in and against Salamangreats. Alright. You run Full Sparrow, you want to be getting Trencher into the graveyard. This card can help you out. Alright, and speaking of Trencher, it is actually one of a few targets for machine duplication. I'm running 3 copies of that. The other target in this deck is going to be Harvester, so having multiple machine monsters on your field does allow you to do a lot of things. You can link off with them and then extend it into your Xyz plays. Alright, so it's a very awesome card to have. Alright, Monster Reborn, pretty self-explanatory, helps extend by bringing monsters back from the graveyard. Outrigger Extension. Now this is the, like I said, this is the rank up spell for the Infinitracks. Helps get your rank 5 into rank 7 or rank 7 into rank 9, which is awesome. But the other effect that it really has, is this is pretty awesome, it basically protects your Xyz monsters from being targeted by your opponent's card effect, which is just huge. And that level of protection can really help out at times. Alright, and since this is a train build, I am running 3 copies of Revolving Switchyard and 1 copy of Terraforming. Switchyard is actually pretty awesome. Whenever a level 10 Earth Machine monster is special summoned or normal summoned to the field, you can activate this effect. Basically, you're allowed to special summon a level 4 Earth Machine type monster with 1800 or more attack from your deck to your field, and then that monster becomes a level 10, allowing you to access your rank 10 plays. Alright? So flippin' awesome. Downside is you can't do any damage to your opponent, but the fact, well, battle damage specifically, you can still hit your opponent with effect damage, and you can still battle and destroy your opponent's monster. So it does really help out with rank 10 plays, and also you could actually discard an unlimited card from your hand to the graveyard, search your deck for a rank 10, for a level 10 monster to add to your hand, which is awesome. All right. And also running 2 copies of Urgent Schedule. Urgent Schedule is so amazing. It allows you to get a level 4 or lower Earth Machine Monster and a level 5 or higher Earth Machine Monster onto the field at the same time. They both come out in defense position and effects are negated, but still, if you have specific monsters already on the field or in hand, you can basically do what you need to do to get a massive board going. Alright, and this card is just so amazing. Alright, if it's ever on the field and destroyed by your opponent's card effect, you're searching your deck for a level 10 monster, so huge. And last but not least, I'm actually running 2 copies of Crusher Run. This is the newest trap card from the Chaos Impact set. Basically what happens whenever one of your Earth Machine monsters is destroyed by battle or card effect, this card will then target one of your opponent's cards and destroy it, which is great. It's a revenge pop and spot removal, which is huge. Alright, when this card is in the graveyard, you can banish it from the graveyard and you can search your deck for an Outrigger extension, which is actually pretty damn awesome. Alright, that's it for the main deck. For the extra deck, we have the Infinitrack lineup, River Stormer, excuse me, Mountain Smasher, and then Earth Slicer. Alright? Now, all three of these Xyz monsters do share two similar effects. The first effect is that whenever they destroy one of your opponent's monsters by battle, that monster is then attached to these Xyz monsters as a material, which is huge. It keeps problematic monsters out of the graveyard, and it can help you control your opponent a little bit better. Alright? So just think about that in terms of the meta, and you get the whole idea. Okay? The other effect is that if this card is ever in the graveyard, you could tribute off one Machine Link monster to special summon this card to the field. Alright? Which is huge, considering that the Infinitrack Link monster has a special effect, which we'll get into a little bit later. Alright, now, each monster also has other effects. River Stormer here can either search or full spell a Infinitrack monster to your hand or your graveyard, which is awesome. Mountain Smasher, detach a material, it gains 1,000 attack, and that's a permanent attack gain, which is huge. Alright, and then Earth Slicer, oh man, Earth Slicer, you detach materials and you're popping cards up to the number of materials you detach, which is just freaking amazing. Alright. Now, this deck can go into rank 10 plays, and you want to be running Gustav Max as well as the Juggernaut Reap. Alright? Gustav Max, basically you attach a material and you can hit your opponent with 2,000 points of burn damage, which is amazing. Leave, on the other hand, oh man. Leave, oh, you get to attach a material, it gains an extra 2,000 points, and since it starts with 4,000 attack, yeah, it's 6,000. And not only that, but this card can, during the battle phase, can also attack your opponent's monsters, and only monsters, up to the number of materials plus 1. Which is flipping awesome. But since it's already at 4,000 attack, you don't really have to worry that much about power boosting it even further. A few attacks on a 4,000 point attack point monster can really do some serious damage and help when you duel. So, definitely something you want to be utilizing to help OTK your opponent. Alright, I am running a Cyber Dragon package in the extra deck. 2 copies of Cyber Dragon Nova, 1 copy of Infinity. Primarily, you go in this on turn 1, and that's for negates, as well as then stealing opponent's monsters during your turn. And then, of course, I also have Chimera Tech Mega Fleet Dragon. It just allows you to clear out the extra monster zones a lot easier, and all you need is a Cyber Dragon monster. You don't need Cyber Dragon itself, so it does help out the deck a lot in that respect. So rank 4s, I have Gear Geek X. Allows you to search your deck or recover a machine type monster from your graveyard back to your hand, which is just awesome. Alright. Now, I have Abyss Dweller in here. Abyss Dweller, I think, is self-explanatory with the way the meta is, preventing effects from activating in the graveyard. I'm kind of on the fence of whether or not to replace this with the Dreadnought Battleship Xyz monster, because that can allow you to access your rank 10 plays a little bit easier. But ultimately, right now, I'm liking Abyss Dweller better because it hurts the meta. So, now I mentioned this with the Infinitrack Xyz monsters. We have 3 copies of Infinitrack Goliath, which is the rank 1 Link monster for the deck. Now, here's the cool thing about Goliath. When it leaves the field and is sent to the graveyard, specifically if it's tributed off by one of the Infinitrack Xyz monsters effect, it can attach itself to that Xyz monster as a material, and then if it's attached to the as a material, that Xyz monster cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effects. Combine that with Outrigger Extension, where they can't be targeted, it gives your Xyz monsters a whole nother level of protection, and it just makes it harder for your opponent to deal with those monsters. Okay, and last but not least, we have Quillfort Genius, which is just an amazing card in this deck. Can target a monster on your field and your opponent's field and basically negate their effects for the turn. It's unaffected by the effects of spells, traps, and activated Link monster effects, which is pretty damn awesome. And not only that, but if you special summon 2 Machine Type monsters to the zones it points to, you're getting a search for another Machine Type monster from your deck, and that's pretty easy to pull off with Urgent Schedule and Machine Duplication in this deck. So definitely an amazing card to have. Alright. Guys, that is it for my Infinitrack deck for November 2019. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed this deck. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this on my channel, make sure to subscribe. Enable notifications, especially the YouTube notifications, so you don't miss any uploads I put on my channel. Check out the description box below. Find the invite link to my Discord server. Join the conversation. We'd love to have you. Guys, follow me on Twitter at BystanderX79. And always, until next time, guys, peace.